Welcome. In this video we'll be going through basic knowledge of using CapCut for video editing and video production. I'll also be using InShot to produce and edit as well. I use both apps regularly. So let's begin. I launch my CapCut app, and the first page that greets you is a home page. You have a couple of options here. Generally, I'll begin with new project. When I tap new project, now it takes me to my album that comprises videos, photos, and the album section is arranged in folders just to have a quick access to your different files. So in this case, I just want to do something random. Now, another beautiful thing about this display is that if you want to see exactly what is going on here, you can long press. For example, this is the video section. You can long press a video and it would play it out as a preview, just to be sure that that's exactly what you want. If it is, then you tap on add and it will be added to your blank canvas. So let's just add this to demonstrate, and then it will be added to your blank canvas. So this project is what you want to begin with, and you see that it will be added on this canvas according to the number of or duration of the video. So this is this. If you want to go back and add more content, probably more videos or more pictures, you tap on this overlay on this lower section of the app. Overlay, tap on plus, then you can import more videos or photos as the case may be. If you just want to start from scratch and you don't have any videos in mind, you just want to start from scratch, what I'll do is go to stock videos, then I'll select, still loading, yes, background. I'll select a black background or a white background. In this case, I'll use black. So what that does is automatically puts a blank canvas, black, on this whole screen, so I can begin this way. If I do not want this, I select and slide and delete. If I also do not want this one that I have, this video I've put here, I select it and delete. Now it's going to tell me I need to keep at least one clip, but then if I want to still delete it, I'll have to go ahead and add another video or photo. Now you saw that the way I added the overlay initially, this line, this white line here, is what we call the playhead. Wherever this line is positioned is where the next thing you're adding would place itself. So in this case now, if I wanted to add a picture or a video, it will place it exactly where this white playhead is. You look at this lower section, you see that it has two arrows, so you need to go back so that it will take you to the home page where it has all the initial instructions. Anytime you select any of these lower options here, whether it's edit, audio, text, overlay, effects, ratio, anytime you select any one of them, it's going to introduce an arrow, and whatever you add, it will keep on introducing more arrows. And then if you want to go back to the initial home page, select back. So let me add a blank page on the end of this video. So I took my playhead to the end, and then I tap overlay. So I come back and go to stock videos, then let me add this. Now if whatever you added did not cover the full screen, all you need to do is just pinch it and extend it, and then it spreads and covers the full screen. So you can see now that when I play this at the end, it goes all the way into the next thing I added, which is a blank page here. So with this added, I can now delete this video, keep one click, and let me make this the main track. So I'll be able to delete this now. Yes. So what I did there was that if it is underneath that track, I can bring it on top. How do I do that? I just select this option. Okay, that option is not enabled now because I do not have that option to do so. So in any case, let's keep going. So let's just be sure that we explore the different sections here. This principle is the same whether I want to create a video from scratch or want to edit a video. The same principles will apply. So let's start a new project. Now anything you work on or begin, it automatically start layering them on this front page, and you can go to them anytime you want to go back to them. So now let's look at this home screen. You have captions. This is captions, retouch, camera, AutoCut, prompter. Now the only field I use in this section mostly, or the only field I use, is this caption section, which is very important, and we'll get to that in a minute. So let's start again. Let's select new project. Now let's assume we are starting from scratch. We just want to do something. Let's say let's just work on a blank canvas. Now you have to put either a video or a plain canvas. You cannot just launch the app and it will give you a page. You have to start from a blank canvas or a video or a picture. You have to start from any of those things. So in this case, let me start from a blank canvas. So I have a blank canvas to begin with, and once I tap on this canvas, I can stretch it and then it extends. You can see that as it's extending, the duration of the time is increasing. See, so that's how that happens. Now this canvas, I can split it. Once I select it, more options display. I can split it, so we now have two sections. I can delete an unwanted section. The most powerful button on this app is the undo button. So even if you made a mistake, you can always undo and back to the step where you were before. So on this section, once it's selected, more options come out. You always have to remember that once you select it, more options come out. We've seen splits. Now we have animation. Now with animation, what this does is that it controls the way the clip displays. You can see you have different types of animation. You have how it will display when it comes in, when it comes out, or combo means it's a combination effect, but I hardly use combo. Maybe we'll test it later on. So what I use mostly is how the clip comes in and how it goes out. Generally I use fade out and fade in. So let's see. So I start with this. So still selected, you have style. I don't usually go there that much. Edit. Now what this edit will do for you is to change the orientation of this canvas. Now you will realize that there are different orientations for different purposes. If I want to use this video on TikTok or as a YouTube shorts, then the orientation is going to change. It's not going to be the same orientation. This orientation fits YouTube. There's also the orientation for Instagram. So those orientations are different. How do I change this? This is where edit comes in. Once I select edit, I go to crop. These are all the different orientations. This is a YouTube orientation. If I want to change it to TikTok or YouTube shorts, it's 9:16. You see it's longer. This is YouTube, 16:9. This is Instagram. And these other ones, I generally don't go there. See, so but let's leave it on YouTube orientation. So that's what edit can do for you. Always remember, you can step backwards from this arrow and you go back to wherever you came from. Cut out, that is when you want to remove a picture or an image from a background. So maybe you have your picture and the background, you don't want the background, you just want to clip or cut out that image. You can use this option and it does a very good job. It will just cut it out and separate it from the background. Filters, to change the tone of the picture or the video, you have different options here. Just to change the overall view of the video, adjust brightness, contrast. I use brightness and contrast regularly. If I want to darken the video, I want to make it brighter, I use this. Retouch, I don't use this. Mask, I use masks regularly. We'll see if we can have a test of that. Copy. Now if I want to, instead of me dragging this clip to whatever length I want it to be, I can copy it and it will duplicate it. So if I tap copy, you can see it duplicated it and it just keeps extending. Now I can, because I used copy, automatically there is a split between both. Now at this split, what we can do with this split is to put a transition there. Now if I do not put a transition there, it will just automatically go from one into the other. If I put a transition here, then the way it moves from one section to another will change. So let's see. Now I can replace this clip. It's simple. Either I delete it or I just add another one to it, but let me replace it. Once I select it, I'll go and look for the option of replace. This is replace. Once I tap it, it takes me to the option of what exactly I want to replace it with. Let's just say, for example, I want to replace it with this image. Replace. Remember again, if you want it to stretch to the whole screen, you pinch it while it is selected. It must be selected. How do you know it's selected? You see the borders around, then you stretch to the whole screen. So that's that. Now let's go back to this section between this first clip and the second clip. You will see that there is a divider, or what you call a transition. Now if you tap on it, you have the option to put how it will move from one clip into another. You have so many flavors, so many. Let's look for something radical. It also, your choice of transition depends on what the message is in the new transition and the old transition. If it's something very dramatic, then you want to use a very dramatic transition. Let's use slide, for example. You see how that goes. So let me play from first clip to second clip. You can change it. Tap it again, you have down, comes down. Tap it again, right. Tap it again. All kinds of transitions. Wipe up. You can be as creative as you want to. Then again, the key thing that tells how you use the transition is what the message is in that clip. That would really guide you. If there's nothing significant in that other clip, then you can as well use a black fade. It just fades in, or you can use a white flash. So it's all up to you. Anyway, so we are building that. Let's see more options. Graphs, I don't use graphs. Opacity, mask. Let's see if we'll get to that. So I have two clips now. Let me replace this blank clip with another image. So I look for replace. Once I tap on replace, it takes me to my photo album. Let me replace it with this. Again, I want it to cover the full screen, so I stretch it. So now let's play from here into the next clip, and so I can keep going that way. Now what is this play at the end? Now you need to be mindful of something. CapCut always, you can add directly from there as well. Let's add another clip. Good. You can add multiple clips. I can add another one, 2, I can add 3. Remember, these are photos and they'll all be added at the same time. They'll just keep tagging to the end of it. Now see this section that shows add ending. by default CapCut will always add its own watermark, but on the settings option I removed it. But if you have it here, you can just delete it, this section. You see now it has automatically added it, so you see it show CapCut at the end. This is very unprofessional. People don't really need to know what you use to edit, so you need to get rid of this. Thankfully CapCut is free in this part of the world, so you can tap on it and delete, so that it just goes straight to the ending without showing that CapCut. So I have more images, I can put more transition, I can reduce the duration of this image by just sliding it. I can extend, so that's how it goes. Now let me put some transitions in between all of this. Let's see, let me use white. Now if you look at this lower section, it says apply to all. If you want one transition to apply to all of the different clips, then all you just need to do is apply all. That shortens it, instead of going to each one and just adding the same transition. But if you want to use different transitions for the different clips, then you don't need to select this one. But in this case I want to use the same transition for all the different clips, so I use apply to all. You see apply to all clips, and I'll tap on this plus this yes icon, and so the same transition will apply to all of the different clips as I move from one clip to another. Same transition, the same transition. Now I do not like the way this clip is, so I'm going to stretch it to extend to the end. I can slide it up so that the main element is captured. I tap on it, I slide it to the end so the main element is captured, and then it goes to the end. Now if I want it to end with a blank screen, I tap on the plus and then go to stock videos and tap on this dark screen again, and then so from here it goes to a black page. This is much better. So let me reduce the duration, and then this happens. Cover, in other words, what cover is that what do you want people to see once they begin playing the video? It's kind of like a thumbnail, but the first thing they will see when they begin the video, you can put that here. Now CapCut gives you the opportunity to do that. If you don't put anything as a cover, then this will be the first thing people see once they play the video. But you can put your title also here as your cover and still as your thumbnail, so once they play it they'll immediately see it, and then that's what begins the video. You can select a clip from your first slide or any part of your slide to begin the video, or you can select upload and upload any cover that you want to begin your video. So let's just leave that as it is. If you have a sound in this clip, you can mute it or unmute. So let's look at some more options here. You have sounds, effects, extract a record. If I want to say something while these clips are playing, I can use record and then hit on this record button, and then automatically as the clip is moving, whatever I'm saying it will be capturing that recording, and then it will enter into this production. Now sounds, what do we want to do with sounds? You can add a background song. We have different genres for vlogs, pop beat, depends on the content. Some contents may need fast background, some content slow. I have a couple of favorites here. If you have a TikTok account, you can link it. This section is to extract sounds from your device. If you have any songs there, you can pick it here. It will automatically open the ones you have, then you can search for a particular one. Recommended, favorites, so the ones I use regularly are placed here. So let me pick one. If you want to feel what it sounds like, you just tap on it, and then if it's what you want, then you tap on the plus button and it drops underneath that clip. And if you play this, you are going to hear the sound. Now depending on what is above or is displaying, the sound can get very high, since that will be the main feature of what it is you are displaying. But if you have a video and you want to put a sound, the background sound, then the background sound should be minimal in terms of volume, so that people will not be distracted by the sound from what the video is saying. So it will be quite minimal. Now I would want to cut this at the end of my clip. And how do I do that? Once it gets to the part where my clips end, I put my playhead there, select the audio, hit split, and then delete the unwanted part. Then again, if you want to edit this audio, you select it and more options will display. So you have fade. What fade does is that fading means the sound will be minimal and then go from descending to ascending once you start playing it. That's what fading does. It goes from low to high. Then fade out means on its way out, on the way towards the end of the track, it goes from high to low, and it's a good setting to use. So it gradually increases once the video begins to play, and then towards the end it peters out, it just lowers out, fades out. That's exactly what that function does. Volume, you can bring it all the way. I don't see why you should bring it all the way to 1000, and then you can also minimize it depending on what you want. Voice effects, now I don't usually use this function, but it's just to tweak the sound of the audio. You can see different categories are here, but I don't use this section. If you really want to play with your audio, then you can look into that. Speed, I don't use this section generally. Copy does the same thing. You can use that to extend the length of the audio. That's what that does. So let's move back and see what other options we have here. Text, very, very powerful. Now text, let's start with the text. Add text, stickers, auto captions, text templates, auto lyrics, draw. Add text. So let's just say something from this image. Now this is representing happy, sad, so let's say happy. Let's type. Now you can move this to any section of the page that you want, and you can minimize it and put it on any section you want. And once you start typing, you see a couple of options. You have fonts, different types of fonts. You can use a particular font that fits the mood that you want to display or that your video is talking about. The font should also match the mood. It's very important. But there are general fonts that work for all categories though. I generally like to use bold fonts. Now this one I had to download it from a secondary source. It did not come as a stock font for this app. This CapCut gives you the option to import other fonts. And how do you do that? If you go back to fonts, tap on add fonts, tap on add, then wherever file that has that font, you can upload it and add it here. That's how I added this bold font and this urban jungle font. You can import fonts, and this bold font I use it regularly. So let's go back to more options. Now you have the size. You can reduce it to what you want it to be. It's on 13 now. You can put borders around it. If I tap on this, it has a border. If I tap on this way, if I tap on this, it's yellow. So in this case, now I'm going to leave it as yellow, and I'm going to use another text here and make it red. Now if you look at opacity, if we slide it, it's going to make it disappear. It's on 100. If we look at strokes, it's going to increase the thickness of the border around your text. So I'll leave it at 100. Glow makes it brighter. I don't need that. Canvas, it's going to put a a background around it. You can change the background color. You can make it black. You can adjust the settings, the radius corner. I normally adjust the radius corner. You can make it all square, or if you want to use this type that exactly wraps itself around the text. Shadow, I think usually shadow. Spacing, yes, you can spread the text out. You can spread it by character. So let's stretch it out so that at least it can enter into both phones. Now you can justify it to the left, upside down, center, or leave it at center. Bold, italics, you can slant it, you can underline it, you can make it bolder. It's already even bold, so but we don't need this. We don't need this. We'll leave it as this. So let's adjust the spacing a bit, make it this way, and then I'll just make it come in between both. I'll leave it at that. So this other section depends on what you want. You can also use these other selections for outline. If you're happy with what you have there, then tap on this OK icon, and whatever you put stays. Now I do not want this black outline around this. I'm going to delete it. How do I do that? I tap on this text again, tap on style, it will open up the settings. I go to canvas and I click on this cancel, and it gets rid of it. Let me bring the spacing back to where it was before. Take it back to 1. So I'm happy with that. Now I want this text to be on this other section. Now the duration of how long it stays depends on what you place. As this video is playing, if I want it to stay till it gets into the next clip, then I have to stretch it so it stops at the transition points between this and the next one. So it just goes in like that. Now I want to put the next text for this. Since I like the settings that I use, I can copy it so that I can now use it for this other section of the clip. So with that selected, I slide and I click copy. It duplicates it. So there are 2 happy clips here now, but I need to separate one. So with the lower one selected, I tap on this and move it this way. So I'm moving it that way. Now I want to edit it. Remember, we decided we're going to change it to red. What do? I can look through if I find something red here. I don't. So let me look at this section now. I can slide there and I can see red here, so I'll select red and I'll leave it at that. I'm happy with this, so I select that. So let's play. Oops, we're supposed to change this to unhappy. Select. Now this clip is taking so much time. I want to shrink it, so I select it and I drag it down. It's taking so much time. So let the text be on the same length. So let's do one more thing. Let's animate this text. Now if you select it again, you see the option for animation. Let's animate it. In other words, animation would change the way it displays. So let's see. You have a couple of options here. Now this is in how it plays when it enters, out how it plays when it goes out. Loop means it just stays that way constantly. Now I want to use a loop animation. Now it's supposed to display to me a preview of how it will look. So we're waiting for that to display. Once you select it, it will display a preview of how the animation is going to look. Effects, just different types of colors variants. We've been through style. Let me change the effect of this red. Style, effects. Let me see how this will look. Oh, I like this. Let's stay with that. Back to animation. Good. So you see it's giving you a preview of how the animation will look. So look through and then see the one that you like. Now I want to use loop because I want it to remain that way constantly. So just keep doing the same animation. It's not displaying yet, it's taking its time. So let me just select anyone randomly. Let's do ink print. You can see it's doing it constantly. Let's do page turn, stroke board, to find something that we're happy with. Scrolling, you can see the duration. You want it fast, you want it slow, you can adjust it as you want. Shake, interesting. No, shake. I like this shake. So let me stay with this. Let me do the same for this. Loop, shake. So you can see what loop does is that it just keeps it that way constantly till the end. Yes. So I would like to stretch it now. Let me just, so that I can play for longer. If I do not want that loop, I can just do in and out and it would stay on whatever transition I use in that case. Okay, now I can also add a text to this. Now this text, what does this mean to me? It means up and down. I could just add the text to just say life. It remembers the last setting I used. I can always adjust it if I don't want. Life is full of ups and downs. Now this text is going away from this page. I need to edit it. So how do we do that? Move it. I can centralize it if that's what I want, but I do not want it to be central. I want it to be by the side, but this length is much. So what do? I can break it. So let me break it from full. I click on this enter arrow, it breaks it. Then I want it to be as, then I click on full off. I'll break it at off of ups and downs. Let me slide it to the left. Let me minimize it. Full of ups and downs. I like it like this. Okay. Let me stretch it to the end of the video, to that clip. Okay, I want it to begin immediately I enter in. So let me animate this text. I'll just use, let's see, chromatic. That's interesting. Let's see. Karaoke. Okay, change it to red. Slide left. No. Wipe left. Lower right. Wipe right. Wipe down. I prefer this. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. So let's see. Life is full of ups and downs. I'll leave it at that. Now let me do one more in this text section. Let me add here. I'll say don't run from challenges, because that's what it seems like this fellow is trying to do. Okay, now I want to edit this. Okay, so I have something in mind. Don't run from challenges. Okay, let me leave it at this. Now there's a function here that is very powerful. It's called keyframes. It's this icon here that has this plus sign, this one, keyframes. Now what that does is you can do powerful things with keyframes. The best way will be to demonstrate it. Now let me do something about this fellow. With keyframes I can fix a particular section of whatever clip it is I'm selecting and make it go in a particular way. Okay, let's do it this way. What do I want to keyframe on this? What do I want to keyframe on this? Alright, let's do this. First of all, let me shrink this. Let me move this way and move it here like this. Now you see what this keyframe is going to do. So I'll begin from where I want the adjustment to start. Automatically it drop a keyframe there. Then when I go to where I want it to stop, then I make whatever adjustment I want to make in between that point, and it will save it. So let's see. Now this is what I want to do. I want to move this to him. I want this text to move that way. Just check out what it's going to do. That's what keyframe does. I can do this for video. I can do this for this layer above it. Well, I haven't stretched this at the end. Let me move this out. I can do this for text. It's beautiful with text too. I can do that for also image. Okay, let me see what image I can do for that. This is stars. So let's do a text. Let's see. The stars. Okay, the sky is your limits. Sky is your limits. Okay, I'll do another keyframe here. I select, move it to where I want to stop. So let me move it just to show that the sky is my limit, and let it stop here. Now watch what happens. It's your limits. Let me move this for that to the end. Keyframes. Quite powerful. Now is this fast because the clip is short? If the clip is very long, it will be slower. Sky is your limit. Good. So that ends this section. Now if I'm happy with what I've created, I go to export. Now this export section has 720p. Let's open that up. Now you see the instructions. 720p standard definition, resolution used for most TikTok videos. This resolution is very good. You can even export all the way to 1080p. The higher the resolution, the sharper the content, all the way to 2K and 4K. However, as it ascends, the size of the output is going to increase, so you need to watch that. 720 is a good place to put it. Frame rate 25 is generally okay. Code rate recommended is good. If you want, you can do high, better image quality. Of course, you see that it will tell on your size. One beautiful thing about CapCut is that it compresses your output a whole lot. So if I'm happy with this now, let's export. So let me export this. What I do is I just click this arrow and then the production begins. And the beautiful thing is that once it's done, it will even give you the option to export it to a different social media apps. If the one you want is there, you can do so. Then it will also allow you to preview what you've produced. You can send to Instagram, WhatsApp. If what you want is not here, click on others to display more options. YouTube will appear here as well, and then you can share it to wherever you want to share it to. Now let me preview what we've done.